Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we are back to normal schedule now. Welcome back to Going Umbral. Today, we look at the multi-type dragon, the damage dealer, the tank, the debuffer. We are looking at Chroma. So, before we start, when I completed this build, my god, I was surprised. I know now why Chroma is the main Warframe for Eidolon hunts. Before we get into it, the 200% power strength gives us so much power. Basically, I can bring any one of my weapons and they are going to do like very good damage. So, we are going to look into the upgrades first. We have corrosive projection for the aura. You can use energy siphon or maybe rejuvenation if you want a bit of healing over time, although rejuvenation doesn't heal enough to make it worthwhile. So I would prefer either corrosive projection or energy siphon, or if the debuffing armour is taken care of and you're fine with your energy pool, I would highly recommend growing power, because Chroma's elemental ward can actually proc growing power, as well as his ice breath, or whatever element you choose Chroma for. We have power drift for the chance to resist knockdown and ability strength, because you know, we need to be at that 200% power strength for maximum power. We have Umbral Vitality and Umbral Intensifier for an Umbral mod. For an Umbral build, we need the Umbral mods. Hunter's Adrenaline, because of the nature that Chroma's powers work. Basically, for Vex armor, you get a damage and armor bonus if you take damage to both your health and your shields, I mean. So, Hunter's Adrenaline, if we're taking damage to our health, basically means free energy for us. While we get stronger, we get more energy. Steel Fiber for the extra armor, bringing us up to 850. A very tanky number indeed. Streamline for a bit of efficiency. You can swap this out if you want to. However, I prefer having that bit of efficiency just so I can cast more than one power. Constitution for a faster knockdown recovery and ability duration. This synergizes very well with power drift, because not only do we have a 30% chance to resist knockdown, but if we do get knocked down, we have a 40% faster recovery rate, plus 28 ability duration. Always handy to keep our buffs up. Transient Fortitude, we do lose a bit of duration, but we gain double the amount of power strength, and that is fundamental for a Chroma. Like, maximize that power strength, people. Maximize it. Narrow-minded, we're not really bothering about range. This, much like with Mesa, Valkyr, Chroma, for me, is going to be a very selfish Warframe. He's going to plant his buffs on, he's going to charge into the fray, and start smashing stuff. With all these mods combined, we have 850 armor, 750 health, 180 power duration, 130 power efficiency, 52% ability range, again, for my Chroma, not really mandatory, a power strength of 200, which, all that coupled together, gives us 45 seconds on both our Vex armor and elemental ward. We get an extra 299 armor from elemental ward, plus a 6 times damage multiplier. That is huge. Absolutely huge. Vex armor gives us a 700% armor increase when the buff is maxed. Like, I don't need to tell you, 850 times 700 equals, my god. And we also get a damage increase of 500, pretty much 550. Which again, I can bring any weapon with a chroma, and it is going to do ridiculous damage. Effigy, even though it's not the main focus of the build, you can pop it and still use it to a decent extent. It will have 16,000 health, 800 damage, and will cost 3 energy, pretty much 4 energy a second. Spectral Scream, I don't really use that much, but if it's something you like to use, by all means, excuse me, knock yourself out. Chroma's passive is a very interesting passive. Depending on what colour you choose for the energy, determines what kind of chroma he becomes. A fire chroma with elemental ward basically emits a huge ring of fire around him, which does 5% of the enemy's health with this build per tick. An ice chroma, which is what I've chosen here, provides the buffs here. A toxic chroma. Now this is what I actually thought about changing my chroma into. Not only do we get a damage over time on the enemies, but I believe it's our weapon damage increases as well, which is always handy. On an electric chroma, is mostly for gunplay. You're doing increased gun damage, swap speed, speed increase, and basically stunning enemies with your elemental ward. The weapons we are using for chroma, honestly, you can use any primary, any secondary. However, for the health regen, I prefer my trusty, proven Prisma Orbex. This is pretty much a full status build, and we have healing return on it. All I have to do, jump into a crowd, punch a few enemies, and I'm at full health again. Makes it an incredibly efficient way to heal. It will become harder on the higher difficulties, because you probably will be getting damaged more than you can heal. However, with this scene amount of armour that Chroma's going to have, with all of his buffs up and maxed, they're not going to be able to take you down very easy. So the weapon we're going to use is the Phantasma. I know I have showed this off on too many Warframes so far, but honestly, I'm beginning to really like this gun. A beam that has no damage fall off, that's classed as a shotgun, so it has high damage, 100% status, and a grenade second fire, people. Like, there's nothing not to love about this gun. I think it's actually nearly overthrowing a Corinth as my favourite shotgun. But anyway, enough about my jibber jabbering. We are going to jump into Sanctuary Onslaught as per usual. Solo. Dun dun dun. And we are going to 20 and 30. Now when I played tested Chroma when the build was finished, we did get to round 4. However, because I got so carried away and lost in the destruction of Chroma, I let my efficiency fall.
In this chaos, the true nature of these creatures will be revealed.
Now, when I was testing that, when I was playtesting on that bit, I was actually using the Optical, which I have shown in Biggs' arsenal, and honestly, I was hitting for some pretty disgusting numbers. Like, pretty disgusting. We're talking well over the 20,000s. And on a crit, oy vey. And I found Chroma very survivable. Very survivable. I mean, if it was a tie between Chroma and Valkyr, if they went up into a fight against one another, it would be a very, very close fight. Needless to say, Chroma is a powerhouse. Like honestly, before I built him for this specific build, I never understood why people would flip their minds over Chroma. But now I understand. The dude is a humongous powerhouse. Depending on the element you choose, you can either have a tank, a debuffer, a gunslinger, or just an all-round damage dealer. And honestly, I am digging it. Much like with Atlas, he's going to get a bit more playtime than he did before. Why am I not healing? Oh yeah, okay, cool. Oh, my armour wasn't up. Yeah, main thing about Chroma, he will die without his buffs. So by all means, please do pay attention to your buffs. Because he will die without them. Chroma very heavily relies on his Vex armor buffs and his elemental ward to survive. Wow, I am going to die. Don't kill me. Don't do it.
A new data conduit is open. Our experiment moves to a new zone.
Also, after this, we will be doing... About a week ago, a new alert did release for Warframe, which is the annual Halloween alert. We will be doing that shortly after this. So stay tuned. It's time to die, Corpus. Wait, hang on, no fair. Okay, damn it. Let's do this. Although the Prism Orbix does a good job, as you can see, when Chroma is surrounded and taking damage from everywhere, he can struggle a little bit maintaining his health. Another substitute would be to replace the Prisma Orbix for the Lifesteal Purus, because that thing can heal anything, like, very, very well. I've been using it on some of my less tankier frames, and it manages to hold them quite well. With the Hunter's Adrenaline and the nature of Chroma's powers, you don't really need a energy super, so I wouldn't really suggest that. Another thing you could do for a bit of health is you can start investing points into Vazarin Focus School, which much like Ceneric, if you Void Dash, instead of regenerating energy, you're going to regenerate health, which for tankier frames is very, very handy. Stop shooting me. You're not playing fair, sir. You're not playing fair. Also, another weapon you could use, if you didn't want to use sparring weapons, is you could use 100% Architatron with Berserker. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. Basically, healing return, 100% status, Berserker and Blood Rush. Job's a good one.
I have opened a new data conduit. Proceed immediately.
Or much like I showcased in Valkyrs, you can use a 100% Castle Wall. Sit down, Grenier. Sit down. Also, a few days ago, I watched one of the dev streams for Warframe, and I saw the new Warframe. My god, man, that thing is scary. From what I could gather, the powers govern slash, like impaling stuff and making them bleed. And also, we are getting a new update soon, which is Chimera, which as far as I know, has a little mini side quest, as well as a couple of new weapons. So look forward to that. However, that will not be done this week. I know I said last week that we're going to be returning back to the Torg playthrough and Destiny 2. However, I've decided to postpone that for this week because for those who have been keeping up to it, Call of Cthulhu actually releases this week. And all day in Halloween will be nothing but Call of Cthulhu. I am really, really excited for that. I was planning to do something last Halloween, however, due to health issues, I couldn't really do that. But hopefully this year we're gonna have the entire day of nothing but Call of Cthulhu. It's gonna be good. I watched an uncut full hour playthrough of it and my god, it looks good. It's looking nice, people. It's looking nice. And there's quite a few games coming out in 2019 that I want to try and cover on the channel. Anthem being one of them. I've been following that game quite religiously for a good while. About a year now. What else is coming out? Oh. See, I made like a bucket list. I made like a list now. I plan it out, what I'm trying to do throughout next year. And I've made like a list. However, without that list, I cannot remember what it was. I know next year, once we clear up some of our playthroughs, I would like to do Gravity Rush. Because that game looks pretty okay. I'm behind the whole anime style gameplay. And something tells me that game's gonna be good. Resident Evil 2, that's a game that's coming out next year. I plan to do. That game looks good too. Wow, I'm not paying attention and my health is falling. Wow, we're at zone 4 already. Wow. Sit down, Corpus. Spoilers, this is the furthest I've got. When I got to zone 4 in playtesting, I literally had 10 efficiency. So, I consider this a win-win. However, we have died twice. But mostly that's me not paying attention. Again, I'm not really paying attention, but you can pair Chroma up with a Lifesteal Furious, and he will have a very, very hard time dying. Also, a couple of more Borderlands challenge runs are going to be coming on the channel. I was looking up challenge runs, and honestly, to my surprise, nobody's done a Miss Moxie run. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but essentially the goal of that playthrough will be to collect every Miss Moxie item, and when we do, that is the only thing we can actually use. So for the beginning part, it will probably be the Miss Moxie's bad touch and good touch. Wow. Anywho, we have to end here anyway.
Go now.
But honestly, there's a couple of challenge runs I want to do, like a melee only playthrough of Borderlands
Hurry, Hunter.
using Craig. I know many people use Zero, however, I think Zero is a bit too overused. Plus, I've never really actually played Craig, so that'll be a learning curve for me as well. From what I've seen in build videos and other people doing playthroughs, Craig seems right up my street. But pretty much that's the showcase of the build. I know I was jibber jabbering a lot through that. Again, here's the build.
Excellent armaments, operator.
Reaching a 200% power strength, 180 duration, giving us 45 seconds on both our Vex armour and our elemental ward. Not really speccing into range. Again, this is a very selfish chroma. The paired weapon is the Phantasma, and again, you can use any kind of lifesteal weapon. Personally, if I didn't like the look of the Prisma Olbex, I would highly suggest you use a Lifesteal Furious, which I have here. Here's the build, for those who are curious. Basically, full status, Winds of Purity, loads of multi-shot. Fantastic. Also, if you plan to use a Furious for any extended period, please do put a pistol ammo mutation, because you will run out of ammo, like, very quickly without it. But anyway, that's it for the build. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon. We're gonna take on that alert. Bye bye.
Everything in orders, operator?